should save the Black Twitter shit for last.
We got to go to this Concord shit. This Concord
that's
shit.
wild. The Black Twitter shit. The last segment will be that and another thing with Black Twitter. But yeah, let's talk about this bullshit here, bro. So I saw this video when it dropped this morning. I was like, what? There's no fucking way. So we already
How much
knew
did
that
you think they paid for Firewalk Studios?
For Fire, because I don't know.
I originally thought that they might have paid, because it wasn't widely reported, but I originally thought that they paid about 40, 50 million maybe on the high end. Never in a million years did I think.
No, the 400 million that they spent to make this game does not include the purchase of Firewalk Studios.
No, nigga, listen. Sony spent $200 million before they bought the studio. Okay. All right.
That's what I'm
saying.
When
they saw what their results were, they invested another $200 million. And
no, that's not how it goes.
That's what he said in the video.
No, he said they spent $200 million on the game before Sony got there. And when Sony was getting ready to buy the studio,
no, play the video.
I swear, hold on, it's
play
right.
Play the video.
Okay, we'll play it. So this is what's going on with Concord, bro. I know this game is dead, but it's gonna live on in infamy forever in our shits because nobody's playing that. All right, here we go.
I want to talk about Concord. I wasn't going to ever talk about this game again because who really gives a shit? However, and I don't do journalism really anymore, as you guys know, and we talk about this a lot. I was a journalist at one time, and I used to break a lot of stories, and these days I don't really grind like Concord. Reached out to me, and I verified who this person was and went through all of that and talked to this person extensively, for a long time. Ooh. And got some, I think, interesting information that I can share about Concord. I think people will be interested about it. The reason that I wanted to talk about it is because some of the assumptions that I had made about the game were dead wrong, as far as how much it cost.
Okay, bro. I'm about to increase the playback.
So the big no. About this is that Concord cost about $400 million to make.
Nigga,
oh my god,
why you speed it up? We're trying to make out exactly what he said. We put it on 125.
This nigga's yapping, dog. God damn, get to the shit.
And the story goes that Concord, by the time Concord was, so in the first quarter of 2023, Concord had basically entered an alpha state. This was before Sony had even purchased the team. But Sony had been working with Probably Monsters. And
right there. He said that's before Sony.
But he also said that's before when Sony was working with Probably Monsters, who was the publisher of Firewalk Studios.
Listen. By the time Concord was, so in the first quarter of 2023, Concord had basically entered an alpha state. This was before Sony had even purchased the team. But Sony had been working.
So that's before.
Nigga, let it finish. Listen to what he just said.
Probably Monsters, and which was the original
owner of
Firewalk.
Yeah, he said that's before.
By the time Concord was, so in the first quarter of 2023, Concord had basically entered an alpha state. This was before Sony had even purchased the team. But Sony had been working with Probably Monsters, and which was the original owner of Firewalk and Firewalk.
Okay, yeah, he said he was working with them, but he didn't say that they gave them money.
Working with means what?
That didn't mean that he gave them money.
Nigga, keep playing it.
Firewalk, probably since late 2020, maybe 2021 at the latest on Concord. The game was in development before that. Up to the point that the game went into alpha state, they had already spent about $200 million on it.
Pause.
And it's unclear.
Who is they? Now,
he's talking about Fireworks Studios.
What? Hold on. Wait. Let's talk
about Fireworks Studios.
Let's do some mental math. Let's do some mental math.
Yeah, let's do it.
If Sony, if you're assuming that Firewalk Studios had $200 million to spend on their game, then
yes, investors.
Nigga, listen to me. Wait, did you say investors?
Yes, that's what he says in the video. It was not a
publicly traded company.
He said that it was investors and other people at the
studio.
No,
where did he say investors? That nigga never said investors.
Well, look, we're gonna
wind it back and show me where he said investors.
He says it in this video because I listened to this thoroughly. Like,
nigga, I just got finished playing it on my show. What I'm saying is, if you're saying that Firewalk Studios had their own $200 million to spend, then how much did Sony buy them for? It would have had to been $1 billion purchase, which they would have had to report. If they had their own $200 million to spend on themselves, Sony would have had to spend $1 billion to buy them. Why the fuck would I sell my company to you for less than $500 million? What the fuck, Leon? Why would I sell my company to you for less than $500 million when I spent my own $200 million? That don't make sense.
It don't make sense, but that's why I think that's what they did.
I think what he said. I think
the money they spent on this game.
If you do the mental math, what he's saying is Sony was already working with Probably Monsters and Firewalk Studios, and they invested $200 million into it. When Firewalk Studios came back with what they had worked on, Sony was not happy with what they did. They invested another $200 million and acquired the company. That's what I'm getting, because it's like, we can't trust you. We're under Probably Monsters. We invested $200 million. We can't trust you over there. So let's bring you under our house, under our watch, and spend this extra $200 million to into the game and acquiring the company. That's what I pull from it. Now you keep playing it, and maybe I'm wrong.
Money is from
let's
Probably Monsters and the original investors into the game, and how much of that money was from Sony.
Okay, hold on, wait. So look, there it is, right there. Hold on, I'll put it on one time.
That. Up to the point that the game went into alpha state, they had already spent about $200 million on it, and it's unclear how much of that money is from Probably Monsters and the original investors into the game, and how much of that money was from Sony.
Okay. So he said it's unclear how much is from the original company and their investors. He said investors right there, and Sony. So it's unclear of that $200 million how much Sony put up in the first place for the first $200 million.
Okay, fine. So evidently he did say investors, but if y'all think I'm finna admit to not hearing investors, lying about not hearing investors on here, y'all got another thing coming. Okay, so how much do we think Sony spent on it before they bought it?
It couldn't have been a lot. But I don't know though, because they wanted this to be a big first party game.
Let's say Sony only spent $50 million. Where the fuck would Probably Monsters pull $150 million from?
Who knows? I mean, they got a lot of DEI characters.
What other games have Probably Monsters put out? How did they become
none to my knowledge, right? That's their first game, right?
Huh?
That's their first game, right?
No. I don't think so. Hold on, let me look it up.
He said, "What the fuck is this H&R Block screen?"
I just seen that shit. I thought he was talking about us at first when I seen it, but
but the thing is, regardless of how much they put up beforehand, they still spent almost $500 million on this game.
Probably Monsters games.
I swear this had to be the first game, right?
I'm on their website. Oh shit, I don't see no. That might be. Hold on. Oh yeah. Oh no, I guess Concord is the only game. So again, that leaves. So where did they pull $150 million from?
I don't know.
Now maybe they had some rich CEO start that company up. But last I checked, the guy that started that company was cast off from Bungie. So where did Probably Monsters pull $150 million from? That's what I'm saying. I think Sony funded most of this because they were a startup.
I mean, that would make sense that they. But then it gets into the how the fuck did it make it this far?
Well, that's the thing. How it made it this far, they were working on it. It was in its early concepts. They sold PlayStation on what they were trying to build. So PlayStation put a lot of money into it, and then ultimately $200 million later, PlayStation saw what their money paid for, and it was like, no, fuck this. I'm bringing you niggas in under the PlayStation brand so we can keep monitor of what you guys are doing because we're not satisfied with this.
And then spent another $200 million.
Huh?
And then spent another $200 million on it.
Correct. Remember, this was last year where they acquired Firewalk Studios. They didn't acquire Probably Monsters. They acquired Firewalk Studios. So they saw it. He said alpha state. What they saw, I'm assuming, is not what they saw last year that prompted them to buy the studio. It's what they saw their money was paying for and was like, no, fuck this. Y'all can't be trusted on your own. So we want the whole studio. And it's what bargaining power do you have if they put all this money into the, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm starting to think, well, maybe the CEO didn't really get paid all that much money after he sold it.
Yeah, but like at the end of the video where he's talking about the former head of PlayStation and how much he was invested into this game, and I'm just thinking, like, did this nigga put up some money? Because
Jim Ryan,
you know what I'm saying? Because how do you make Concord? Okay, like, let's get these dudes up the screen let's get to the juicy bit. Where's the juicy bit at?
In a laughable shape.
Here it is.
When it was shown and ready, basically like when the alpha was ready to go and they were kind of being like, we're ready to kind of get moving towards getting this thing out in the next year or two. It was in such horrible shape that Sony felt like they needed to spend that much money again. So, 200 plus 200 to get the game to the MVP status, not to the status of it being like a great game, to get it to just viability. And that at that time in Q1 2023, there was nothing done. Like, a major expense was having to urgently outsource much of the game to other studios to finish building the game out. And that two fundamental things were not worked on at all up to the point in which the game was shown in alpha. Onboarding, nothing about that. No, like, there was nothing about how players get on, like how they make their character, all that kind of stuff, or, choose their character and get there. And monetization. Two very expensive, very specific and boutique things that happen to games like this. And so that's the first thing that I wanted to say, is that it's not only about the ongoing cost, which would be in the millions to keep the game going per month, but that the game cost about $400 million to make. Soup to
God damn. God, that includes developing the game, and does that include the cost of them making it the episode on a secret level, the Amazon show? Does that include that as well?
I don't think that cost them anything. I think, they
had to pay to get it as a game. Why
would they pay them to do that? Nobody knows what that series is.
Because it's a brand new game, and that series, I'm pretty sure you have to pay to have the license for the games that they have on there.
They have to pay you for the license. You own the IP.
Okay, but so how much do you think they spent on this game?
I mean,
because it can't just be 400 million.
Huh?
It can't just be 400 million.
Well, we know the marketing, they didn't market it at all because they didn't have no faith in it.
What, Concord? They marketed the fuck out of this game. It was everywhere. Like, because I've seen like people who don't have ads and shit like that. This game was fucking everywhere. It was on every PlayStation store. It was all over the place. They marketed
but that's hell out of this. I'm talking about, like, we ain't seen no billboards. I don't know how many YouTube ads I didn't see no YouTube ads on Twitter.
They didn't start promoting it heavy until that PlayStation showcase.
That's what I'm saying. Even after that, I never saw any Twitter ads. I never saw any YouTube ads. I ain't see no billboards. I mean, I don't watch live TV, so I don't know about live TV. But I ain't see it on the NFL, the NBA, soccer, none of that shit. So I believe they knew they had some garbage on their hand. And it's like, we're not putting no more money into marketing. Y'all better. Apex, they put the game in the creators' hands, and told them niggas to just play it, and niggas would start playing Apex Legends immediately. So PlayStation was like, man, fuck this. We're not putting no money into marketing. This shit is garbage.
Damn, man. What a stupid fucking decision.
Yeah.
Anybody with eyes could see that.
Jim Ryan and make that nigga pay.
Yeah, he gotta pay.
He gotta pay. That nigga got to fucking pay.
He greenlit this. He greenlit the remaster of Horizon and The Last of Us Part 2 and another remake of The Last of Us. I'm pretty sure he greenlit another remaster of another game. There was another rumor he greenlit a remaster of what's that fucking game? Days Gone, which what I've heard is a pretty good game, but nobody wants another remaster, especially if you're not remastering Bloodborne, you fucks. God, can you give us a remaster Bloodborne, please?